Hey there guys, how's it going? What you just heard is a tune I made in Reaper using completely free plugins. So I've had a few comments saying it'd be cool if we could see a mix done with completely free stuff. So I took it as a challenge and this is the result. So let's just jump in. First, I'll start with the drums. This is what they sound like soloed. So they're a very modern processed sound. But to be honest, it's the best kit you can probably get for metal for free. And it's this. I'm using Perfect Drums, but you can use Perfect Drums Player, which is free, to load in these samples. If you download Perfect Drums Player, it'll look like this. You've got the sampler window. And what I'm using is a sampler kit from Panda Sound. It's a completely free one called the Restrains Kit. I've done a video on this before. If you want to see that video, it's on my channel. Click here, load sampler kit, and load in the file like this for Perfect Drums Player. Double click on that and it'll load up. And the best thing about this kit is it's completely mix ready. I've not altered it at all. No levels, nothing inside the plugin at all. The only thing I've done is after the drum kit on this track, I've added the Tal Reverb 2. This is a completely free plate reverb plugin. And I use the preset small drum plate. I think I altered it very slightly. This is what it looks like. Just to give the kit a little bit of room ambience. I'll just quickly play the kit again. I'll turn the reverb on and off. As you can hear, it's just giving the kit a little bit more ambience and a little bit more size. Okay, guitars. There are loads of free plugins out there. I've covered a lot of them on my channel, but I went with Amped Roots by ML Soundlab purely because it has a lot of features built into it. Mainly the pedal board. You've got a noise gate, a drive, a delay, a reverb. For this, I'm using the drive in sort of boost mode to kick in the front end of the amp to give it a bit more tightness and chug. And I've got the noise gate on there as well, just to keep things kind of quiet. Then I've got an IR loaded as well, because this is also an IR loader, which is really handy. I've got the Between 3 from the Engl Pro 4x12 V30 pack. I'll link that below. Because the built-in IR on this, I don't really like it very much, so I added my own IR there. And then I've got some post EQ, quite a hefty high pass at 150, because this plugin is quite beefy in the low end, so I wanted to attenuate that quite a bit. I've got a little cut at 300 to get rid of some of the muddiness and some of the boxiness. I've got a cut at 4K just to get rid of some of the harsh top end that I didn't really need. And then a low pass to 8K to get rid of the messy top end. So I've got two guitars, one panned hard right, one panned hard left on guitar number 2. Pretty much the same settings. Same with got the drive and the noise gate. And for this tune, I actually loaded the same IR on this side as well. I thought it sounded pretty good the way it was, so I left it. And the EQ is the same as well. Okay, the lead guitar, the delayed guitar. These are the settings. The IR I used is the Between 3 again for the lead. I thought it sounded really good, nice and smooth. And on the pedal board, I've got pretty much the same settings on the drive and the noise gate, but I've got the analog delay loaded with these settings. Then this is the EQ for the lead. High pass to 200. Then a hefty dip at 4K to get rid of the pokey, horrible high frequencies out the lead, make it a bit smoother. Then a low pass to 6K. And I've got another lead, which is on the beginning and the end, more of an ambient lead tone, just an atmospheric sort of thing. And I've got everything on, and I've got this reverb. This reverb's really nice. It can be quite subtle, and when you crank the time up, it can go full on ambient and go quite stereo, which is very nice for that washy, dare I say it, modern gent type thing. Then this EQ is the same as the other lead sound. Then I've got the bass track. BOD, completely amazing free plugin. It's a copy of a bass Sans amp. There's the EQ for that. Very scooped, keep it out of the way of the guitars. A nice shelf down there to get it out of the way of the kick drum, and a little shelf up on the top end as well, just to keep it out of the way of the airy cymbals and everything. And then And then a stock preset from Reaper, the drive and rock bass preset. Bring the threshold down so I'm getting a little bit of gain reduction just to smooth it out a bit. Then I've got a second bass track that I bring up underneath. It's the same performance, copied and put below. Then on this, I drive it with the Mokafix NoAmp. This is just to give the bass a bit of growl, bit of distortion, and to give it more presence in the mix. Then this is the EQ for the bass guitar there. Pretty much EQ'd like a guitar, but with a bit more of the high frequencies left in. Then the compression, drive and rock bass preset. Not much compression going on because this is quite a hefty distortion going on. Didn't really need much compression. Okay, the vocals. I've got two chains on the go. I've got one for the dirty vocals and one for the clean vocals. And I'll just go over the clean vocal chain. I've got a de-esser. As you can tell, I've got quite a bit of detail in the top end of my voice. You know, with my accent, the S's pop out quite a bit. So the de-esser, I've got, you know, quite a bit of de-essing going on, you know, reducing between sort of 3 dB and 6 dB. Then the EQ for the clean vocal, you know, hardly anything going on really. Just a high pass to 184 just to get rid of the rumbly bass end. You don't need it. Then I've got a little dip at 1K just to get rid of some of the honky duck frequency out of the voice. And this just smooths it out really nice. Nothing complicated, nice and simple. Then in comp, I usually go with the modern vocal preset. That's pretty good, and I tweak it from there. This is what it looks like currently. And I usually get quite a hefty bit of gain reduction, usually to about 12 dB if I'm really singing loud. Singing's not my forte, but yeah, it's the best I could possibly do, to be honest. And then I've got a chorus. The one I went with here is the Kilohearts Chorus. This is part of a free bundle that you can get from them. They do a lot of premium plugins, but their free bundle is really good, and this chorus is part of it. And what I'm doing with this is I'm not giving it a very obvious chorus sound, but it's got this spread which spreads it over the stereo spectrum, and it gives you a nice width to the vocals. And there's a little bit of chorusing going on just to make the vocals sort of move a bit, which I really like. And then I really like delay on vocals. This is quite subtle. I've only got the mix on 12%. This is the analog rack delay from Nembrini. This is part of a free bundle that comes with noise gate, I think, and a couple other things. But this delay is very nice. You can sync it up to your project, or you can just pick the delay time. Very nice delay. So that's my clean vocal chain. I'll just let you hear a little snippet.
A friend you see, the fear has got you trapped, a friend you seek.
Yeah, not really my forte singing, to be honest, not high singing like that. But what I do enjoy is doing metal vocal, and I'll just show you that chain now. Everything's kind of the same. The DS is pretty much set the same. But on dirty vocals, I use the Audio Assault Headcrusher, the free version. This is still available on some sites. Nothing too severe, just using a bit of drive just to give the vocals, you know, more presence in the mix and a bit more aggression. EQ, quite the high pass to 371 because there's a lot of energy in the low end when you're doing stuff like that. So I high pass currently to about, 371 hertz, which is quite severe, but it still sounds quite thick. I wouldn't go any higher than that because it'll start to sound thin. Then again at 1K, I've got a little dip, get rid of some of the honkiness, and then a little shelf just to get rid of some of the toppiness. Compressor, heavy compression on the vocals. I used I went with the modern vocal, and these are the settings for it currently. Then again, I went with the analog rack delay, sounded really good. I've got the mix on 7%, it's very subtle on this. And then I've got the master track. I'll just show you that quickly. I've got a whole video on this that goes into a bit more detail, and I explain what I'm doing and why. This is all tone shaping stuff. EQ, a harmonic exciter, multiband compressor for the low end, just to get it thumping. Stereo enhancer to give me a little bit of width on the whole mix. Little bit of compression. This is barely compressing. The Event Horizon limiter clipper, I've been using this for a couple of years now. It's a great mastering limiter and a clipper in one. Bring the threshold down, it'll make your track louder, and it'll soft clip it as well. You can set your ceiling. It's fantastic for boosting level. Then I've got the master limiter on top of this just to give it a bit more level and a bit more of a radio ready sort of sound. And that's about it, guys. Anything I've missed, feel free to ask me questions below. I'll try and reply to everyone. And remember, this is a completely free mix, and I'm trying to use as little stuff as possible to make it as simple as I could. And this is definitely something for beginners. If you've just got into Reaper, you've just learned the basics, get this template, download it, and see what you can do with it. So yeah, guys, that's it. Let me know what you think in the comments, and thanks for watching. Alright guys, since you've made it this far, I just want to plug some of my stuff. I've got an album out called Bear the Mark. It's 11 tracks of pure metal fury. Click the link below to check it out, listen to it for free, and buy it if you want it. And if you want to hear some really heavy shit, go check out my side project, Nest of Scum. That album is completely free. Go download it and enjoy it. Thanks for watching, guys. I really appreciate it. And subscribe if you want to see more metal related stuff. I'll be back sometime with a video on something else, so until then, ciao.